Do you feel that you express yourself in a different way when you're creating art? Or do you feel it's all more or less the same, just different execution when you're considering cosplay and other?
Oh, that's interesting. Well, I do think both cosplay, my cosplay side and my visual art side are both equal ways of expressing myself and putting my energy into the world. Art can be a little more in depth with that, I believe, because cosplay, you sort of just you try to portray a character as best as you can. Yes, you can. I tweak it sometimes to make it a little more unique or a little more not canon just so I feel better about what I'm doing. And that's my form of expression. TikToks are my form of expression. Choosing audios to go with certain videos and choosing certain lighting to go with certain characters, that's my form of cosplay expression. But artistic expression, like for visual arts, that is like a blank palette. There's no template, there's no thing I need to generally look like, so I can just do whatever I want with that. So it's a little more free range than cosplay, but cosplay, I like having that guideline and something to work towards. So they're very different.
Interesting. Can you elaborate a little bit further? What's your thought process when you sit down and you decide that you want to do a new cosplay, or you want to make 4 or 5 TikToks to schedule for the next week, or even if you're ready to paint and you have a blank canvas?
Okay, so cosplaying, when I decide I really want to do a new cosplay, for example, I'm going to choose Hawks from My Hero Academia because I recently dived into making a cosplay for him. I'm yet to debut it properly, but I'm really excited to do so. But so first off, when I'm planning a cosplay, I have to consider the financial aspect of it because getting a whole new cosplay, whether I'm making it from scratch, altering what I find, or buying it from a cosplay store, it costs money. That's the thing. People forget cosplay costs money. And so I consider that. And with whatever I choose to do, I go through the creative process step by step until eventually I have a finished product. And that's when it comes to marketing it, because that's what it really is. It's marketing yourself as a cosplayer and putting it out into the world. And what I tend to do is, if I am making, let's say I'm making a bunch of TikToks, I will think about the character and I will think, what lighting would this character use? What color scheme do I associate with this character? With Hajime Hinata from Danganronpa, I typically use green, but with pre-game Shuichi from Danganronpa, I typically use blue, while with Hawks, I would use red. And as you can tell, I've got some funky lights. And there's just a lot of different thought that goes into it, but I would be lying if didn't say that a lot of what I do when I'm getting into cosplay is very impulsive. I'm doing my makeup and I'm thinking, and I'm like, what would make this look cool? I'm going to add a little more red blush on my nose than usual. I think I'm going to do blue eyeshadow, even though this character does not have blue eyeshadow, because I think it would look good against the lighting. And it's just little logical decisions that help me bring more life to my cosplays that I really enjoy that aspect.
Nice. That's really cool.
Thank you.
So when you're ready to post your like to online or even prepare for an event, back when we did have events, can you tell me a little bit about that process? The reason why I ask this is because from what I've heard from other cosplayers is that, especially nowadays, because of the outreach that they have with social media, they need to be a little bit more calculated when it comes to the content that they create. So do you pay attention to what time to post your content? Do you look at like what's the trendy series and if you want to cosplay a character from that, or do you just kind of like pick several that you're interested in and just really put a lot of your effort into developing and expanding on that area?
Yeah, what I tend to do when it comes to picking who to cosplay, I just choose characters that genuinely make me like vibrate with excitement when I see them. And I would think, oh man, I want to be them so bad. And that's what I choose. That was my relationship with Hawks. I would watch him and I was like, that should be me. So I went and I did it. And same with Asuka. And when it comes to posting, I definitely have to be a little more aware if I want my content to reach as many people as I want it to reach with what I'm doing. Because the Instagram algorithm in particular, I'm sure you've heard this, but it is a complete dumpster fire. It is very hard for content creators, specifically artists, to get their work out there. So I carefully consider what hashtags I'm using because too many hashtags can typically just put you off the radar, but not enough, and you're not utilizing the hashtags. So I typically use a few hashtags, including like the name of the character, the name of the show, an alternate name for the show, the acronym for the show, and anime cosplayer. And that's about it. That's probably more than some people use. It's probably less than other people use. It's just something I found that works for me. As for what time I like to post, I generally think it's best for me to post at a consistent time when I do post. I don't have a consistent posting schedule, at least not on Instagram, which is my primary platform. But I do tend to post around the same time just so people know if I'm posting, this is when I'm posting, which typically is around 3, 4 o'clock. TikTok, I try my best to post every day, but I've got 2 accounts, so it's hard to maintain those.
Well, I will say that the effort that you're putting into your social media platforms, it seems to be paying off because not only is the content that you're putting out really good, like really good, you guys will see throughout this interview, but like the numbers, at least from what is visible to us, it reflects someone who is actually paying attention to what works for them, what works for their followers, their fan base, and continues to go through with it. So that's great.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.